Hello all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the Calamity 100 times spawn rate episode 1. So the main mod that we have here is Calamity and the 100 times spawn rate. The full mod list will be down in the descriptions. Have a few quality of life mods added in there, so definitely take that a check out. And I'm starting here on the select world because once I get in there, I'm going to absolutely be swarmed by slimes. So I'm here to just explain what's happening. So yeah, 100 times spawn rate. This is an expert world, and we'll be playing on Revengeance. And I think this will be a summoner playthrough, since summoner, in my testing, summoner is really powerful with the 100 times spawn rate, since it has a lot of pierce. But with that all being said, like the video, and we will get into it. So we're just starting in here, and I'm immediately getting underground, since once these slimes come over here, I'm going to be killed very quickly. So that we're going to get underground very quickly where they cannot get me. I'm also going to open up my starter bag and spawn my starting Squire staff. Yeah, you can already see how powerful it is to just have a summon that can kill the enemies. They'll be very helpful early game. Doesn't mean it's I can go up there, because I will die immediately. But at least these slimes can be killed. Alright, so after a bit of work, and totally not because I forgot to record, I've made a little bit of progress here. First of all, I went down and got I mined down here a little bit. This is from an enemy, so I mined down here a little bit. I got some amethyst and I got some iron for an anvil, and I was maybe using the anvil. One of the quality of life mods adds the ability to make the slime staff, so I got a huge damage boost by that. I was also able to get the rover drive, which creates a little damage shield here, as well as the Wolfram battery, which increases summon damage. And it is raining, so there's a bunch of umbrella slime. But yeah, so I was not recording, and a tin helmet. That is better than my wood helmet, so I will take that. I was not recording, so unfortunately there may be a little bit of a disconnect between where I started, which was basically at the beginning, when I first started the world, and right now is about maybe like 30 minutes of progress. But that is completely fine. I am going to add, I did add in auto trash that I did not have before. That's when I noticed that my recording wasn't on. Which will allow me to automatically delete these items that I don't need. Such as the presents, the unstackable items. In that time, I also dug over to the side a little bit, and I dug down. So not too much progress was missed, but I did get an upgrade to our weapon, a few accessories, and an anvil. Those are the main thing. So progress really is like any other Terraria playthrough, except a lot more dangerous since there is a lot more enemies. But I will need to go down and try to find some golden chests. Really anything from a golden chest, except maybe a flare gun, would be very helpful. And that broke my fall, so that was actually really helpful. This slime will also stay around me. I can use him to kill enemies down here. This is where I went down before to get all of the ore that I said that I got before. I'd really like it, slime, if you did not jump up and down, so you can just kill this guy. There we go. And so I am making a platform trail back up. There's another rover drive. Unfortunately, those do not stack, so I can't just use a bunch of those to create a massive shield. And that is one of many deaths that is to be expected. So I'm gonna slowly make my way downwards, and if I find anything interesting, I will get back. One thing while I'm mining down here that I did mention before in the recording, I did not record, but some of the configurations that I have enabled. In Calamity, there is an option to have bosses reduce the amount of enemies that spawn. Since we want as many enemies as possible and as much carnage as possible, that option is turned off. So there will be all of these enemies during boss fights. It'll make the early boss fights very difficult. Later on, it shouldn't be as bad since we'll be able to kill the enemies a bit easier. But it will still be pretty difficult, especially with summons, since they don't like to target very well. Of course, I haven't played 1.4 Summoner. As well as this, I have an mod enabled that makes it so friendly NPCs that spawn in don't reduce the amount of mobs that spawn. So even when there's a bunch of NPCs and I have a town, the same amount of mobs will be spawning. Of course, the NPCs can defend themselves, but that won't reduce them. I can't use that to reduce the amount of mobs that spawn. There is a couple crawlers here. I can't see that. There's an amethyst crawler, and please, slime, do not come flying back up to me. And a topaz crawler, and if I can get some more amethyst, especially since I was able to get some amethyst before, I believe about 9 amethyst, then I can create a grappling hook, which will help with my maneuverability. I do see some gold over here as well, so while my slime is killing those crawlers, and it was able to kill the crawler, I can make my way towards some of that gold. So I'm just going to quickly pop in here. The slime shouldn't be able to get me since I am too high up. And grab some of this stuff. And then block this off. I think I got an energy core. Energy core was right. There's crafting material. And then over here a little bit, I did see some gold. No, yes. I thought that was copper for a second. It was copper! Nice. I did in fact not see gold. I saw copper. And I am not King Midas, although that would be lead, but I cannot turn lead or copper into gold, unfortunately. Somebody get on making a mod for that. With that being said, I will get back. This is basically just a lot of mining right now, so I'll get back once I find anything interesting at all. So I did just mine into a cave here. Oh, there comes a slime falling from above. I should probably block that off, or block myself in. I'll block that off so more doesn't fall. But I did, so more don't fall down. But I did just mine myself into a cave here, and a lot of enemies are taking up the cap over here to the side and up above. So I should be, oh geez, that is a lot of jellyfish. But I should be able to explore this cave semi-safely. As long as I stay out of the reach of some of those slimes, and of course the jellyfish, then I should be fairly okay. I do need some more platforms. Basically use all my wood on platforms. But yeah, I should be able to definitely be up a little bit higher. So the, whoa, there goes the yellow slime. But so those slimes cannot get me like that. Does not, unfortunately, it doesn't look like these caves are going anywhere, so I may need to just mine down further. Unfortunately, there's a lot of water around here, so I'll probably have to go up and around all that water, since mining through water, especially early on in a Terraria playthrough, is not very fun. And since the water is infested with jellyfish, I would not recommend that. So I'm making my way, mining around all this water, and there is just so many slimes. They float on the water. Fortunately, my slime is not as good at dealing with these guys floating above the water as he is if they are on land. And a little bit more iron ore. It's a large body of water. Makes it a bit, it'll take a little while to get around, but will definitely be doable. So I'm just mining down here, and a Spelunker potion just dropped from a jellyfish, so that will be very useful in finding some ores and chests. And I do see there is a golden chest right down here. That'll be very helpful. Again, anything is really good from a golden chest, except maybe a flare gun. That is probably the least best option. But even that has some cases where it's useful. I'm just going to drop right down. That's also not very good. Strong mace, or a mace. If I was using melee, would be not too bad. There's a sapphire crawler there, but I'm using summoner, so not the best thing that I could have gotten. It wasn't in the house; it was just out. So I don't know if that affects the drops of it. Actually, I don't think it does. But there's a slime that is trying to remove me from this world. Oh, and hello, Mr. Fairy. Mrs. Fairy. What would you like to bring me to? Over here. Do have to make my way up and over. Oh no! So I accidentally excavated myself out of this world. I accidentally used ore excavator on some clay, and that did end my mining expedition prematurely. I do have a lot of gel, and I think I have, yes, I have enough amethyst for an amethyst hook, which will be very useful in traversing caves and in boss fights. So I'm going to quickly sort out my inventory here, and also check what I can craft. I should be able to get something good. So using my Wolfram metal scrap and energy cores that are dropped by Wolfram enemies, I was able to create the Wolfram hat and goggles, the jacket, and the overalls, which give me a damage reduction boost, as well as a max minion and extra minion damage, 10% extra summon damage. And the set bonus, Wolfram Bastion, double tap down while dismounted to equip Wolfram Power Armor. While armor is active, you can only use the integrated fusion cannon, but your defensive stats are increased. Calling down the armor consumes one piece of Wolfram metal scrap. The armor will lose durability when hit. I see. This is like a ranged weapon. So I probably won't use that, but one thing that is helpful is I can now have 2 slimes out, which will double my DPS. With the 2 slimes now, we can really go toe-to-toe with a lot of these enemies. But we can go toe-to-toe with these enemies, which means that when I'm down here mining, I should be able to not die as much. Of course, saying that dying isn't impossible. It's just not as hard, or not as easy. I don't know which one, but I can die a lot less. Another thing I would like to do is with the iron that I got, if I still have enough, which I do, and I also need some wood, so I'll have to come over here and get some more wood. So after getting that wood, one thing that I would like to make is actually a trap door, once I can find it, because that's actually something I don't use very often in vanilla Terraria. And does it use a sawmill? It may, so I may need to, well, this is something that is helpful anyway, and something I often forget to make is a sawmill. It's used for a lot of crafts, but I always forget to make it. And using that, I can then make... Okay, I was mistaken. Trapdoors are actually not made of the sawmill, but what I want to make is a trapdoor. And that will make it so I can easily, when I do have to break these blocks, which is very scary, but it'll make it so I can easily get between the surface and my base And I did get that placed in time. So now I have an option to get out of my base without the enemies really getting in. And really I should create more like an airlock. So it's even harder for them to get in. The problem right now is if I go out there, I'm going to get knocked around and I may not be able to close the door. But I would like to move around on the surface since I have a lot more maneuverability. And I wouldn't have to, that way I don't have to dig around all here. But I don't know if that's really possible right now. I may have to just go back to the caves. So I did end up coming down to the caves. I had to make a whole new tunnel off to the side here because all the tunnels I've already dug are infested with monsters. But I came down here just to see what I could find, and with the increased spawn rates, there is a lot of gem critters going around, and with my summons, I'm pretty easily able to defeat them, which is really nice because gems are very good early on, even though I have a hook, because it helps me get closer to magic storage, which is one of my personal favorite mods. It's so good for inventory management and chest management. But once I can get some diamonds, especially, I can start to set that up. So these gem crawlers and these gems will be very helpful. I also got a Scuttler's Jewel, which stealth strike projectiles spawn a jewel spike when destroyed. That is a rogue mechanic, and since I'm not using rogue is alright. I know it can do quite a bit of damage. It's not my favorite class though, but it is refreshing to have something new in Calamity, a new class. But since I am not using rogue, that will not be very useful for me. I am back down here to where I was earlier in the episode, and this is where I died, right, because the fairy was trying to guide me to something, and I unfortunately excavated my way to my death. But I should be able to get around here now. With the tooth slimes that I have, that has increased my damage capacity greatly. It's twice as much damage. And I can also use these ropes that I found to get down these large pits, since I don't have any fall damage negation yet. Something like shoe spikes would be very helpful. I use a sapphire critter, a bit more tanky. My other slime is off doing who knows what. So the one slime, he did a good job. We'll name him Joey and Sam. If your name is Joey or Sam, congratulations, you just had a slime named after you. Those are completely random names, so congratulations though if your name is for all the Joeys and all the Sams out there in the world. It reminds me of we've been watching Stargate SG-1. Great show. I'm on season 4 right now. I started watching it just like a month or two ago, and I've been quite liking it. I'm a fan of sci-fi, like Star Trek. Star Wars is not my favorite. Star Trek I prefer, but so that kind of sci-fi genre I quite like, and I did just die there. So of course one of the main character's names is Sam. It's difficult to say what we should do next. It's really hard to go to the surface because of all of the enemies. Of course, what I can do is I can actually create a layer of platforms here, because now the slimes can't go down. A lot of them are just jumping straight over me because of the dirt that I placed here. So I can actually kind of go up. Oh, but yeah, see, with the platforms here, they can't actually go down. So I can then put one of my slimes in there and absolutely just kill all of them, which is very helpful. I did lose like 30 gold there, but gold isn't really going to be an issue in this challenge or in this playthrough because of all the enemies. They drop a lot of gold. I know some of the quality of life have an option to be able to increase the amount of gold that enemies drop. I do not have that enabled. I don't think it will be necessary. So yeah, once I kill all of these slimes up here, and it does look like there's a pinky there, kind of helpful. I did see that I had pink gel earlier, which is sort of helpful. Or it's not helpful per se, but it's definitely something that is easier to get than in a regular playthrough, and I am able to cover that up. So now these slimes can't get in here. Actually, what would be helpful is a door. That will require some more trees. I should definitely be planting acorns, so I can get some more trees, especially underground. I can start an underground farm to create trees, since the surface is not very friendly right now. So I'm going to create a door, which will allow me to kind of get out of here safely. So I have a trapdoor here. Of course, the slimes can't get down, but like the zombies, but they can't go through the trapdoor. And then, what will I do is, that is a very cool effect with all the slimes, is create a little ledge here. So basically, all the slimes will jump over here, but then they'll get stuck in here. And actually, I can, and that way I can place the door over on the other side in order to be able to get out of my base. There we go. Yeah, you're not getting in here, slime. And I can actually put my slimes here. Absolutely kill all of these. I have 37 blue slime banners. We have killed over 2,000 blue slimes. That is the power of you 100 times spawn rate mod. Is a lot of mobs. And so yeah, I can now get in here. It does look like my shield gives me some knockback resistance, but yeah, once these Wolfram enemies get in here, I am absolutely dead. And for those who don't know, the increase or the decreased spawn rate, spawn timer, that is a feature of Calamity. So yeah, one great thing with Calamity is, I know some other people have done 100 times spawn rates, but with Calamity, it just adds so much content that is definitely a different, it's going to be a different kind of playthrough. It's definitely going to last longer. My goal is to defeat, of course, the final boss, the Supreme Calamitous, and the Exomex. But yeah, there will be a lot of trials and tribulations along the way. Yeah, so one great thing about this door is it creates an airlock here, unless the zombies just get right through it. But it creates a little airlock there that doesn't allow the zombies to get through. And I think I'm going to get absolutely massacred by these demon eyes unless I am able to heal. Yes! And try to get as far as I can, just kind of explore over here. And the corruption is over to the left there. So that is some useful information. I'm going to close this door before the zombies come back. But that is some useful information to know, that the corruption is over there. And the slimes did follow me over here. So I can try to kill them. They do have a lot of health. But I do have 2 slimes. They may have an army, but I have a Hulk. So yeah, we did get some blighted gel. That will be useful a lot later when we try to fight Slime God. Not useful right now. Another thing that we can try to do to progress farther is create some NPC houses. Because as long the NPCs can live underground as long as they have suitable housing. There, in the Fargo Mutant mod adds auto houses. So if I dig out an area here, I can automatically make a small house for the guide to move in. But what we can get is the merchant to spawn in, as well as the nurse. Actually, I don't think the nurse can spawn in yet. The zoologist will also be a very nice NPC to have, since I can get a whip then. Although my summons are doing plenty of work. Definitely need to auto trash a lot of things. We're going to get a lot of drops. That's why auto trash is a very good mod for this playthrough. So yeah, I'm going to create an auto house once I have enough wood. Seems like wood is always an issue. It's going to be an issue for a while since the surface is very hostile. So yeah, now that I have enough wood, I can create the Insta house from Fargo's Mutant mod. Very nice quality of life mod. And that will allow me to instantly create a house without me having to place down all the background walls and everything. So it gives a little box here. And if I just place it right in here, I think I have to get closer. It will instantly create a house, which is suitable. One of the quality of life mods that I have installed is the NPC checklist, since there are a bunch of NPCs that are added with Calamity. So, like, it shows which NPCs I have gotten and which I haven't. So, it also shows which ones I can have spawn in. So for example, the demolitionist, I have to have an explosive in my inventory. Since I don't have it, it won't spawn in. Or the merchant, I have to have at least 50 silver, which I do, so it has a check mark next to its name. So in the morning, either the guide or the merchant or the robot, I think is his name from Calamity, the automaton, which I believe that is not from Calamity, that is from Magic Storage, or the deviant will spawn in. Already defeated almost 2,000 zombies, 7,000 gel. That is absolutely crazy. So getting some NPCs will definitely help with progression. Other than that, we basically just have to go down into the mines. That star just hit a whole group of zombies. That was really cool. So I'm over here. I dug a lot more to the right. I started digging to the right very early on, but now that I'm stronger, I can dig over more. And I found an entrance to a natural cave. So I'm just going to drop down here, and maybe that was a mistake, but I'm just going to try to run through here and grab anything I can find. Like this chest, I'm just going to quickly loot it. I get a little bit of knockback from my armor. I'm going to quickly heal. I'm just going to run through here, just completely ignore all the enemies, and see if I can find, yes, something like this, a golden chest. The cobwebs. That's fine. And actually, this is not very far away from where I was before. So, looks like I am safe here because the slimes can't get through the platforms. I did get a Band of Regeneration. That is fine. And Menacing. Menacing is very good right now, but extra damage. And also a Hasty Cat's movement fiber. Normally, I don't like this because it clutters my inventory with vines. But I do need a lot of ropes, and it's kind of hard to get ropes since I can't really find very many pots. Of course, running down here, I found some pots, but normally they're not that easy to find. So having the a lot of vines will greatly help out. It looks like I cleared out a lot of the enemies here. Bobcat must be filled up in some area that I have not seen, which is good for me unless I'm about to die, which I'm not. But that's good for me since it means I don't get absolutely swarmed. Of course, immediately as I say that, I get absolutely swarmed. Was able to recall out of there. Did get some good things, again, like the accessories. But definitely some more will be needed in the future. I can go back there that way as much as I would like. I'm going to put a door in here, just so the enemies coming this way do not absolutely destroy me. So yeah, I can take my axe, and I can just come through here and get a bunch of vine rope, which is very helpful to get down places I've already mined. I can actually also, what I can do is come upwards instead of down. And almost, ooh, there's a chest here with an umbrella. That'll actually, that's pretty good. That's fall damage resistance. We'll place that over here. I have over 4,000 torches. But that is fall damage negation. So that will be useful. So like for here. But I am going to just try to run past all these enemies since it's not a very good strategy to try to fight all of them, since I'm not strong enough still to take them out consistently. It will be very satisfying when I do get to that point, but that point is not right now. And so basically I just have to do that same thing over and over until I can find something. So after more than a few deaths, I've gotten down a little ways, quite a ways actually, and there is a blue fairy here, and I see there's a house over to the right. So yeah, there's a house down here as well. I don't know if that's two houses or the same connected house, but there is definitely some treasure to be found here. It looks like, I'm not sure if that's two houses that generated like right next to each other, or if that's just one big house. Either way, there's going to be a gold chest here. So again, looking for some, spiked claws wouldn't be as good now that I have the umbrella. Hermes boots would be very good to outrun the monsters, and a cloud in a bottle would be great. Since extra maneuverability is always helpful. So I'm going to try to kill all these slimes and then get to that gold chest. Luckily these slimes up here can't get down, so I can just take out the slimes from down here and then come over and please cloud in the bottle. Magic mirror. I mean, that's okay. It's, you know, infinite recalls back. Plus I have this fairy here, which leads me to a heart crystal, that's what it's called, which is very helpful since any more than 100 life will just increase my survivability. And there's another fairy here. I'm getting very lucky with this things around here. Once we can kill all these slimes and get to that heart crystal, we'll be sitting very well. Oh, it looks like that other fairy was showing me that there was a heart crystal there. I did see that. Oh, and another house here. Again, cloud in a bottle. I'm not falling for this pressure plate. I do see that. But again, a cloud in a bottle would be very nice. I'll also take this loom. Cloud in a bottle. 3, 2, 1. Yes! Yes, a cloud in the bottle. Melee speed, that's not very good. But cloud in a bottle is shackle, probably my least good thing that I have on. I'll also take the rest of the stuff and the chest. But that will be very useful for that double jump. There is a lot of slimes down there. This is but with the cloud in the bottle now, I can kind of just jump around. Ooh, an amethyst tree. Of course, that's not gonna be too. But I can maneuver like that to jump up here. The slimes cannot get me. And it looks like we're getting down to the cavern layer too. I can see some skeletons here, which is going to be kind of scary since they will do a lot of damage to me and they have a lot of health. So I have to be very careful from them. Honestly, I'd probably be best with going into the wall here, so I'm not going to do that. Oh wait, there is a fairy here. No, the bat. Infamous Terraria bats. There is a fairy here showing me to a heart crystal. It's down here somewhere. So it would be good to get down there if I didn't die. Well, this allows me to place down some things like the loom. I'm going to pick up this chest and just place it over here. And also I clear out my inventory a little bit, so I don't need all of these things. It does look like the merchant was here for a second, and then immediately died. Which is not good. But one thing that is good is since I have a cloud in a bottle, I should be able to kind of get around these, get around these slimes. Calamity adds in a tiny mini dash, which will be good to kind of get some horizontal distance. And I just have to avoid all these wolfram enemies. I tried to make it a little bit farther this way, to the right. Luckily those enemies jumped right over me, but there is definitely more. And there's not much that I can see over to the right. It looks like the merchant did come back in and did not die because this is nighttime, so he came up here. Coffee will be quite nice for the buff. Same with the mining helmet. I quite like the mining helmets, and that way I don't have to use torches as much. Once I get enough gold to buy that, since I did lose basically all of my gold just now, those will be very helpful. So I'm going to farm a little bit of gold here from the slimes. That way I can buy the mining helmet. Not too long later, I have enough gold to get it, but I just realized if I use the mining helmet, I actually lose one of my summons, since that is from the set bonus, which is not ideal. I also forgot I can kind of use this to mow down enemies, which will be useful. But I don't really want to give up that minion slot, and generally falling all the way down and dying is not recommended. But I don't really want to give up that minion slot, since having 2 minions really increases my damage. With that being said, I think this is a good place to leave off for this episode. We got a lot done in this episode. We got a slime staff, as well as a full set of wolfram armor, which is a good early game armor, as well as some pretty decent accessories. I should have episode 2 out sometime in this next week. With that being said, have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night.